Welcome to the 21-day breast liberation, sacred breast liberation challenge. We're going to start. We're going to do our left hand over our right upper arm, and right hand on our upper left thigh, or just above the knee. This is a flow for any breast projects for women or men that have either cancer label or clogged ducts or anything with your breast, including getting any breast surgery, implants, anything. And simply doing this move 3 times a day, 10 minutes each side, would equate to an hour a day doing this move. You can do it sitting, standing, driving in a car, watching TV, laying down at night, going to sleep, whenever you choose. It is effortless. So Jin Shin Jyutsu is a healing art brought to us by Mary. She brought from Japan to United States in the let's see, would be 50s, no, 60s. And she finally finished the 2 texts on 1979. And there's thousands of practitioners all over the world teaching this, doing the self-care. With self-care, it can be done anytime, as much as you want. If a practitioner is working on with you, it's 8 hours between sessions. And I found that it's the easiest healing modality that I found, equivalent to acupuncture, but without the needles. You're moving the chi, the energy, the meridians of your body around, and any congested chi in the body creates a disharmony or pain, or a label like cancer or Hashimoto's. So when you have this awareness, you can really kind of step back and really reevaluate your life and choices, because it really comes down to choices. I was at a Tony Robbins event, Unleash the Power Within, and he was the first person that told me that suffering was a choice. And oh, did I get angry and yelled at him and said, no, it's not. It's not a choice. I have Hashimoto's and I'm going through menopause and this is suffering and it's not by choice and blah, blah, blah. Well, in reality, after doing my research, I realized, guess what? He was right. So, yeah, and I was wrong, and I'm okay with being wrong. I don't know why people have such a deal with being wrong, or the opposite, being right. I don't care to be right anymore. In fact, there was an expression, you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Because really, your opinion's your opinion. That doesn't mean that it's the same opinion for other people. So I've taken that into my life and realized, it's much more easy to live life when you don't have an opinion, and you flow much easier. But if you do have a label or a disease or a disharmony in your body, or you're just not feeling at 100%, if you're not waking up every day in joy and feeling like it's Christmas morning for a 5-year-old, then I highly recommend looking at some of my videos and trying some of the things that I've talked about, because if I've been able to heal my body and mind from diseases like depression, Hashimoto's, menopause, though menopause isn't a disease, but it sure feels like one sometimes. When you have rage that comes out of nowhere and you're like, who is this person? That's when I really started to take Jin Shin Jyutsu seriously and take it as a daily practice. And the practice became the lifestyle. So I noticed all the teachers who were in their 70s and 80s that were teaching Jin Shin Jyutsu, they all looked like they were in their 50s and had energy like a 20-year-old. So I was like, I'm going to learn what they're doing, because clearly they're doing something right. And it is daily self-care. There's not one specific thing that works for everybody. I mean, you just got to try it, because your an electrical magnetic being, so every day is different. You're in a different frequency. And if you look at everything through quantum physics eyes, this physical body that we feel, including everything around us that we see, it's all energy. And if you go down to the minutia, to the actual molecules, atoms, quantums, there's nothing but space. So we've been tricked with our senses to think that we are this physical temple of a body and that we have a soul. We are a soul. And our soul is just, it's unlimited. It's unconditional love. It's limitless. So to contain it in a body, you think that's possible? It's just a fraction of your soul that taps into you and you can move about being human. But when you're suffering, you don't feel 100% and you just, things are weighing you down and you feel heavy. That's not right. That's not normal. Popping pills, getting and aging is not normal. It's optional, actually. So I decided, with other things that I've been doing, I've been looking at, or actually since March of last year, I started with Life Wave patches. There's these little patches that stick on you like Band-Aids, and you put them on different parts of your body related to the Chinese medicine. And 12 hours on, 12 hours off. And what the patches do is they stimulate your stem cells. And they use it, how they stimulate it is through the light or the energy of your body. It takes that and converts it to a peptide, copper peptide, which produces the stem cells. So some people put a patch on and overnight they feel amazing. I actually started remembering my dreams when I was patching. So I thought that was pretty amazing. But the biggest thing right now is hair and nails growing so fast and my skin changing much healthier. And my receding gum lines, like I remember going to the dentist and I had like 4s and 5s all over my teeth. Well, I went recently for a fitting for my retainer because I broke it. And there was only 1 5. Out of all the teeth I have, 1 5. All the rest were mostly 2s and 3s. Hello. So I do, blame the patches for that. And that's pretty amazing, because if you do the research, you'll find that disease and health starts with the mouth. Not only what you're putting in your mouth, but the bacteria and everything in the mouth. How you chew your food. If you're not liquefying your food and chewing it, and I was a 2-bite, chomp, chomp, swallow down type of gal for a long time, and didn't even realize it till many years later. The best way to eat is, of course, blessing your food, having a calm environment, having nice music on, nice conversation that you can digest, getting into that parasympathetic state, that rest, restore, and digest. And you can also do a figure 8 around your eyes to get you into that parasympathetic state. Bless your food, and no drinking any liquids at all, because that's going to further dilute your digestive enzymes in your stomach. And as we get older, the HCl, the hydrochloric acid in our stomach, actually gets less and less. So if you drink water while you're eating, you're just diluting and creating more problems. So chewing your food till it liquefies and then swallowing it is key as well. And then, of course, brushing your teeth twice a day, flossing, very important. But sugar, not eating sugar, because sugar is the element that it does create cavities. And I know a lot of products that are in jars, cans, packages, all sugar, like a top ingredient, sugar. So be aware of that, because it can make a difference. And it does take 9 days for your palate to change. So to eliminate anything for 9 days, you're going to have a palate change. And if you can do it, fantastic, because then you can get off the sugar, because it's a dopamine hit that you're feeling. So if you just smile, dance, move around, you won't want to eat that chocolate. And we're going to switch now. So we're going to take our left hand and we're going to move it to our right upper thigh, and take our right hand and move it to our upper left arm. And this is the next 10 minutes. Also, your digestive tract is only 1 cell thick. So when you're having like a gluten exposure, like I used to have, your stomach will blow. And what's happening is that the molecules are going through your body. But if you have a tear from a sugar molecule, because actually if you look at a sugar molecule, it's very spiky, it has spikes in there, and it can tear the lining of your gut. When it tears the lining of your gut, then it opens that intestine to any food that's coming through, for it to go through the bloodstream or get into your body in a different way. And guess what? Your body looks at that carrot that you just ate, you know, a carrot. Who's allergic to carrots? Well, people that have leaky gut, because then that carrot molecule gets in your bloodstream, your body thinks it's a foreign object. Now you have a allergy to carrots. And that's not fun. So you have to really wait to see your stomach, your intestines heal itself. Bone broth is very good for it to heal. It had that gelatinous substance in the bone broth actually coats and helps heal your intestines. And it takes 3 to 5 days for the healing to occur. So if you were like me, having a little snack or a goody-goody, as I would call it, on Monday, and then nothing on Tuesday, but then Wednesday comes along, you have another one, well, you're just further creating more of a disharmony in your body. So what you put in, on, and around your body matters. So you need to be aware of what products, because there's so many, especially with the female products, the women's products have so many endocrine disruptors, and that can create an early onset of menopause, can really mess up your systems. Metals in deodorant, like what's going on with that? So check your ingredients, because you don't want aluminum in your body, or putting aluminum in it, because guess what? It gets into your brain, and there you go with Alzheimer's or dementia. And in the 70s, 60s, 70s, what, TV dinners? It was in aluminum foil, around aluminum foil. We had popcorn on the stove, Jiffy Pop, where it was all aluminum, and you just kind of shook it on the burner until it started popping, until it looked like a big brain. And all those contaminants that we ate in the 60s and 70s, we didn't know. Not to mention how cigarettes were a thing back then. Even doctors were saying, yeah, I smoke Camels in the white coat and everything. Smoking a cigarette. I prefer Camel cigarettes. Like what? Yeah, it was fun in the 60s and 70s too. What was going on, even to the point of 10 o'clock every night, the TV would shut off, but before it would shut off and go snow, it would say, do you know where it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? Like our parents had to be reminded that they had children and they need to be in bed by 10. I mean, crazy times, but crazy good, because we didn't have everything on social media. The worst thing we had really was gossip. If someone had a Polaroid camera, they could take an instant picture right then and there and maybe have a little bit of evidence of something that you did silly or something. I couldn't imagine living in a social media Wi-Fi world from conception till whenever you transition. I mean, the research hasn't really, well, it's starting to come out now as far as how Wi-Fi and the antennas and the phones, and how it's not good for our body. And it makes sense. We're electrical magnetic beings. To have an electronic device touching our skin or being on top of us, or worse yet, these women, waitresses especially, in their pocket or in their bra, no wonder cancer rates are going up. So do your own research. Don't believe me. I mean, I'm a researcher. I studied. I have a master's degree in molecular biology, so I knew how to do the research and I knew how to read the studies and made sure that the studies weren't funded by Pepsi Cola or Weight Watchers, because there's bias in that. And there's not supposed to be any bias in true science. That's why I switched over to quantum physics, because that makes sense to me. And Darwin was not 100% correct when it comes to evolution with humans. It's not about competition, it's about community. The only competition you have in the world is with yourself, to be 2% better than you were the day before. So having that awareness really changes things. And again, I didn't know I was locked in a prison. I thought my life was normal, living in basically shame, guilt, pride, low vibrating, very contracting emotions. I thought you could get to joy, but you don't stay in joy. And that's wrong too, because I've been able to maintain a joyful, high vibrational feeling energy-wise daily by doing self-care. And Jin Shin Jyutsu is one of many things that I do. But you really have to see what works for you, because everybody's different. No one size fits all. I know they say that, but it's not true. That's why there's thousands of diets out there, and they do work, but not for everyone. So I really highly encourage everyone to get into a curiosity mode and really start asking the questions like, does this serve me? Do I feel good around my friends, even though, you know, they've been friends all my life? But if I don't feel well around them and I feel drained around them, guess what? You need to change friends because it is all about you. And this is how we end up changing the world, by changing ourselves inside, changing our health, changing our perspective, being in service not only for ourselves but to others, leading by example. Jin Shin Jyutsu, Mary talked about, be the testimonial. Her vision was to have a Jin Shin Jyutsu practitioner on every block. And I thought, oh, that'd be really cool to have that kind of knowledge out there, and everybody would be harmonized and healthy. You wouldn't have a medical system. You wouldn't need it. Back in the day, doctors got paid for how well people were in the community, not how sick everybody was. And the agendas are just different now. The pharmaceuticals and the insurance industry kind of have changed up everything now. So it's not about the people, it's about profit. And that's the problem. Because when it's about profit, that, you know, money, it's currency, it's a thing. But people put so much focus on money that it's what they have to have. But again, like they say, money doesn't bring you happiness. And happiness is you looking out there for things. Joy comes from inside. And it is an effort that you have to do, changing perspective. Something bad happens to you, what you consider bad, why don't you just look at it as like, oh, what can I learn from this? How can I flip this so something good comes out of it? Growth comes out of it. And growth is uncomfortable because your brain is making new neurons, new pathways in your brain to kind of figure out what you're doing, what you're, what's going on here. So the more you do it, the more it becomes a practice. And like I said, the practice becomes a lifestyle. You got to start somewhere. And then don't beat yourself up because you didn't do it the day before or that you forgot. Have forgiveness of yourself and say, okay, well, I'll double up tomorrow. Or just having that awareness, celebrate that. I have the awareness that I could have done better. Let's do better next time. So it's all about living a life that you love. And anyone that has a challenge with breast cancer, it's a big deal. I mean, where is it? It's in your heart chakra area. That's a big deal. And we, as women, take care of so many other people and we never put ourselves first. I'm giving you permission to put yourself first because you can't help anyone if you can't help yourself. And I did that and drained myself for, gosh, 30 years. So I say no more. So happy Friday. I hope you have an amazing weekend, and I will